Hello my Fly Mickey friends, welcome to the latest news update from the world of Disney. And on this week's episode, could Disneyland Paris reopen but with no attractions? Disney World leads the way in reducing COVID safety requirements. And is the Disney Cruise Line on the lookout for a new home? Now, before we take a look at this week's updates, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give this video some love, and click that bell icon to stay in the know about all things Disney. First up, and let's head over to Hong Kong Disneyland Resort, where they have just started hosting this year's the Royal Food and Drink Fair, which will run through until June the 27th. And what is this tasty festival, I hear you ask? Well, it's a unique Disney-style gourmet event located in Fantasyland, where chefs from all over Hong Kong Disneyland Resort transform the Royal Banquet Hall into a special dining feast, which features award-winning international dishes. This limited time event is only held on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays between 11:30 and 7:30 p.m, where guests at the Hong Kong Disneyland Resort can tuck into some lavish bites like a Turkish chicken doner kebab, Italian Parma ham with melon, braised beef short rib with pumpkin and thyme gravy, Norwegian gravlax salmon, prawn and scallop mousse, or a savoury cabbage and spinach terrine. But if you ask me, hey, what's your favourite bite? I'd have to go with the good old favourite Mickey-shaped broccoli and cauliflower Hokkaido cheese tart. But if you're into something a little bit more sweet, the dessert menu may just impress your taste buds, as this year they're using some new molecular techniques in creating masterful dining delicacies like the unique nitro creamy truffles, the green apple yogurt spheres, and the panna cotta dessert cups. But lest not we forget that all good food items can always be paired with a matching drink accompaniment. And at this festival, there are some rather refreshingly locally brewed beers on offer as well. The Hong Kong Disneyland Royal Food and Drink Fair can be enjoyed as an a la carte option or through a pre-fixed menu where guests can get to sample as many of the foods in the fair as they want by saving themselves some time by purchasing e-tickets in advance of their visit, and these often come in bundles that include souvenir sipping cups, pins and headbands for the event. Now, last week, ED92, that's the daily Disneyland Paris social media news accounts, reported that Le Pen magazine had revealed some information about the ongoing negotiations with the French government for the reopening of the country's theme parks. Now, at this point, I would like to stress that this is pure speculation and nothing official has been reported or decided, but many news outlets and DLP sources have quoted these same possibilities. But like with many things COVID, we know that plans can change at any time. So first off, option number one is a reopening of the parks on May the 19th, but this would be without any attractions, shows, parades, fireworks, or basically anything fun. It would, however, open the parks to those die-hard fans who just want to soak up some magic and maybe do a little Disney retail therapy. It's a great idea if you're an AP holder and live reasonably close to the Disneyland parks, but I suspect that this option won't be going ahead as it simply wouldn't be a cost-effective option for the company. So then we have option 2 for those that don't speak French, and this would be a June the 9th reopening and look much like the parks did just before they closed back in October 2020, with all attractions, dining and retail open, but with seriously capped capacity at just 5,000 people, and would require what the French government call a mandatory sanitary pass, i.e. a fully vaccination certificate or proof of a negative COVID PCR test to enter the resort. Now, this is a doable option and has been proven to work well at the Tokyo Disneyland Resort, whom have had a similar capacity limitation for quite a while. But the extra cost of proving a negative test if you're not fully vaccinated may have a negative downside for those overseas travellers who at the time of this recording must already pay out for multiple tests to travel back and forth to France, which brings me on to option 3, and the one I think is the most realistic of them all, and that's to defer reopening until at least June the 30th, and, the good news, a capacity limit of 100% with everything open. But those pesky sanitary passes from option 2 would have to remain. I'm guessing that the thinking behind option number 3 is the hope that the majority of European citizens and those from the UK and other third nations should be fully vaccinated by this date onwards, and therefore safe to return to enjoy a full magical experience at Disneyland Paris. But the big question, of course, is if you had to choose 1, 2, or 3, which one of the options would you be going for? Let us know in the comments below. So, Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida are to end temperature checks for guests, but are to keep some of the other coronavirus safety measures such as face coverings and social distancing intact, well, at least for now. It was reported this week that the Walt Disney World Resort will begin to phase out those temperature checks at its parks and facilities before the end of this month, as Florida begins to make adjustments to its local coronavirus regulations. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order suspending the state's remaining COVID-19 public health restrictions, but said private businesses like the Walt Disney Company can still mandate themselves a face covering and physical distancing policy, along with other safety measures at their discretion. WDW's COVID-19 precautions have been in place since they reopened in July of 2020, and the parks have always considered guidance from public health authorities, government agencies, and their own teams of health and safety experts when assessing and updating health and safety measures in order to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 and keep their cast members and guests as safe as possible while enjoying the most magical place on Earth. And Disney is not the only major park in the region that has decided to roll back on some safety measures. Universal Orlando Resort, for example, have announced a similar ending to their temperature checks for guests, but theirs will be effective immediately. They will also reduce physical distancing requirements between parties from 6 feet to 3 feet, while still maintaining most of their original safety protocols, such as wearing face coverings across their resorts, to the ongoing dedication of cleanliness and sanitization. But both major attractions have vowed to continue to follow the guidance of all health and safety leaders going forwards, and most importantly, encourage people from across the state and from further afield to get themselves vaccinated. Now, while the Disney Magic gets herself ready for those unique set of UK sailings this summer, and as the Disney Wish is piecing herself together ready for her maiden voyage next June, the Disney Cruise Line has hinted this week that they may be looking to set sail from Fort Lauderdale in 2022 all year round. The Fort Lauderdale port in the Everglades, where Disney ships have only ever docked before during storms, could become the cruise line's first all-year-round seaport for ships stationed outside of Port Canaveral. Magical Cruise Company Limited, aka the Disney Cruise Line, have requested a deal from Port Everglades, but still require Broward County approval. And although they did not specify which ship would be moving to Fort Lauderdale, they did state in a letter to the Port Authority that the ship that they were considering would be carrying around 3,500 passengers. Well, this would point then to either the Disney Dream or the Disney Fantasy, both of which have capacities of 4,000 guests. In a statement from Jonathan Daniels, Chief Executive and Port Director of Port Everglades, he said, "Adding Disney Cruise Line to the Port Everglades fleet, along with the Royal Caribbean Group and Carnival Corporation, would diversify our portfolio and create a little more magic for our guests and the community. The addition of the Disney Cruise Line to Port Everglades would certainly create new jobs and generate more tourism for the Broward County. And although the deal will not be discussed until May the 18th at the next County Commission meeting, it is seen that with Disney's Port Miami contract expiring in April of 2024, Port Everglades may be the most reliable replacement option. And with the fleet's newest ship, the Disney Wish, set to float from Port Canaveral next year." And finally, with less than a month to go before the highly anticipated opening of Avengers Campus at Disneyland's California Adventure Park, Disney has offered its fans their first glimpse of the new costumes the cast members will be wearing to help bring that unique experience to life. Disney cast members working in Avengers Campus will actually be known as campus representatives and will wear outfits inspired by all the individual areas within the new land. For example, campus representatives at Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure which allows guests of all ages to sling webs just like superheroes, will all wear outfits made with plenty of stretch, which also feature modern and techie-inspired details. Meanwhile, over at Pim Test Kitchen, cast members or those campus representatives will be wearing lab coats, pin pocket protectors, as well as a hat and a tie. You'll also get to see both of the campus food carts have a distinctive look, with those campus representatives at Shawarma Palace wearing aprons inspired by New York City, while at Terran Treats, the outfits there take their cues from another exciting Disney attraction, the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Rounding out the looks are the Masters of the Mystic Arts-inspired ensembles over at the Ancient Stadium, where the campus uniform there consists of cargo pants, a training shirt, and a tactical-inspired vest. As we all know, cast members play a unique part in the guest experience, specifically in immersive lands such as this, and these costumes are designed to help them embody their roles in the epic story that surrounds the brand new Avengers Campus. That's it for this week's news update. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Fly Mickey Travel, so you'll never miss out on the magic moments from the world of Disney. And all that's left to say is have a super magical day.